Billionaire dad visits his adopted black son with cancer in hospital. What he saw his wife do destroyed him. The door to room 412 was slightly open. William Carter pushed it slowly, holding the brown teddy bear that Jordan had loved since he was 5 years old, when he arrived from the orphanage. What he saw in the next 3 seconds would change everything. Brenda was standing beside the bed. Her hands held the 4-bag connected to Jordan's arm. She wasn't adjusting anything. She was injecting something with a syringe. Jordan was motionless. Eyes closed. Too pale. "What are you doing?" William's voice came out like a roar. Brenda spun around, eyes wide, the syringe still in her hand. "William. You're early. I was just. What is that in your hand?" Brenda looked at the syringe as if seeing it for the first time. "Vitamins. The doctor said that." "Lies." William crossed the room in 2 strides. He snatched the syringe from her hand and pushed her away from the bed. Jordan's heart monitor started racing. "Nurse. Someone." Brenda backed against the wall, her face transformed. The mask of perfect wife had fallen. In its place, something cold. Calculated. "You don't understand, William. You never understood." "Understand what?" "He's dying anyway. The leukemia will take him. I'm just speeding up the inevitable." William felt the floor disappear. "You're trying to kill my son." "Your son." Brenda laughed, a bitter and cruel sound. "He's not your son. He's a charity project you brought into my life without consulting me. A child who should never have left that orphanage." The door opened. 2 nurses rushed in, followed by a doctor. "What happened here?" William pointed at Brenda. "She injected something into my son's 4. I don't know what." The doctor took the syringe from William's hand and smelled it. Concentrated potassium. His face went pale. "In high doses, this can cause cardiac arrest." William felt his legs weaken. "Call security," the doctor ordered, "and prepare emergency treatment." Brenda tried to run, but a security guard was already blocking the door. She was restrained, screaming, "You'll regret this, William. Everything I did was for us. For our future." William didn't look at her. His eyes were fixed on Jordan, on the small body connected to tubes and machines, fighting against a disease that was already brutal enough. And now, against his own stepmother. Jordan was 9 years old. Head shaved from chemotherapy. Dark skin marked by bruises from needles. But his eyes, when they were open, still shone with a hope that William couldn't understand. William had adopted him 4 years earlier, when Jordan was 5. A quiet, thin boy who didn't talk to anyone at the Bright Horizons orphanage. The staff said he was hard to place. Code 4, black, traumatized, unlikely to be chosen. William wasn't looking for a son that day. He was there for a corporate donation, photos for the annual report. But when he saw Jordan sitting alone in the corner, hugging a worn teddy bear, something inside him broke. "What's his name?" "Jordan. He's been with us since he was a baby. Mother died of an overdose. Father unknown." William approached. Jordan didn't look up. "Hi. I'm William." Silence. "Is that your friend?" He pointed to the bear. Jordan finally looked up. Huge, suspicious eyes. "It's Tommy. Tommy seems like a good friend. He's my only one." At that moment, William made a decision that would change 2 lives forever. The adoption took 8 months. Bureaucracy, evaluations, home visits. But on the day Jordan entered the penthouse in Manhattan, holding Tommy tightly, William knew he had made the right choice. "Is all this yours?" Jordan asked, looking around. "Ours. All of this is ours now." Brenda came into their lives 2 years later. Elegant, smart, successful attorney. She seemed to accept Jordan, smiled for photos, bought expensive gifts. But Jordan never relaxed around her. William noticed, but attributed it to trauma. Adopted children take time to trust. He didn't realize that Jordan's instinct had been right from the first day. The leukemia diagnosis came 6 months ago. Jordan started chemotherapy immediately. William reduced his workload, started sleeping at the hospital. Brenda offered help. "Rest a little, darling. I'll stay with him." And William, exhausted and trusting, accepted. Now, looking at his unconscious son while doctors worked frantically to neutralize the poison, William wondered how many times Brenda had been alone with Jordan. And what she had done when no one was watching. What no one at that hospital knew yet was that Brenda Morgan Carter wasn't just a cruel stepmother. She had a plan elaborated for months. A plan that involved Jordan's death and the $60 million fortune that William had placed in a trust fund for his son. And there was someone else involved. Someone William would never suspect. If you're enjoying this story, subscribe to the channel now. Because what William is about to discover about his wife will completely change what you think about trust, betrayal, and how far greed can take a person. Jordan survived. Barely. The doctors worked for 4 hours to stabilize him. The dose of potassium Brenda injected would have been fatal in 15 more minutes. William arrived with exactly 17 minutes to spare. 17 minutes between life and death for his son. The police took Brenda away in handcuffs. She screamed the entire way to the patrol car, swearing William would regret it, that it was all a misunderstanding, that she loved Jordan like he was her own. William didn't listen. He was holding his son's hand, watching the heart monitor finally stabilize. "Dad." Jordan's voice was a thread. William leaned in. "I'm here, champ. I'm here." She said I was going to sleep. That when I woke up, the pain would be gone. William felt his stomach turn. When did she say that? "Today. Before you arrived. She put something in my arm and told me to close my eyes." William closed his own eyes, fighting nausea. "You're safe now. She won't come near you again." Jordan squeezed his father's hand with the little strength he had. "Dad." "Yes. I tried to tell you. Many times." William froze. "Tell me what?" "That she hurt me. When you weren't there." The room fell into absolute silence. Only the constant beep of the monitor. "What do you mean, son?" Jordan looked away, fixing his gaze on the ceiling. "She pinched my arm when I spilled something. Locked me in the closet when I made noise. Once she pushed me down the stairs and told me to say I had fallen." William felt tears burning his eyes. "Why didn't you tell me?" "I tried. Remember when I said I didn't want to be alone with her? You said I needed to give her a chance. That she was trying." The memory hit William like a punch. Jordan had said that. More than once. And William, too busy, too trusting, had ignored it. "She said if I told, you'd send me back to the orphanage. That no one would believe a black kid against a white attorney." William pulled his son into a hug, careful of the tubes and wires. "I will never send you back. You are my son. Mine. And I should have listened. Forgive me." Jordan cried softly against his father's chest. "I thought you would choose her." "Never. You hear me? Never." That night, Detective Sandra Coleman arrived at the hospital. Black woman, 50 years old, sharp eyes that missed nothing. "Mr. Carter, we need to talk." William took her to the empty waiting room. "What did you find?" The detective opened a folder. "We found your wife's phone. She didn't have time to delete the messages." "What messages?" "Conversations with a man named Derek Price. He's an insurance broker." William frowned. "I don't know any Derek Price." "No. But your wife knows him very well. They've had a relationship for at least 18 months. William felt the air leave his lungs. "She was cheating on me?" "That's the least of it, Mr. Carter. Look at this." The detective showed him screenshots of the messages. "The kid is getting weaker. Doctors say the chemo isn't working that well." "Perfect. When he dies, the fund goes to you as widow. That's 60 million clean. And if he doesn't die from the disease? Then we help nature along. Potassium is undetectable if the dose is right. Everyone will think it was a complication from leukemia." William needed to sit down. She planned this. From the beginning. Since before the diagnosis, actually. "What?" The detective turned the page. "We found searches in her computer history. They started 8 months ago. How to make death look natural. Substances that mimic organ failure. Life insurance for adopted children. 8 months. Jordan's diagnosis came 6 months ago. Exactly. She was already planning before the leukemia. When the diagnosis came, it probably seemed like a gift. A perfect cover. William felt like vomiting. She was going to kill my son anyway. Yes. And there's one more thing. The detective hesitated. Derek Price. We arrested him 2 hours ago. He confessed everything in exchange for a reduced sentence. Confessed what? That Brenda had a contingency plan. If Jordan survived the leukemia and the poisoning, she was going to make you look like a negligent father. She had already contacted Child Protective Services with false reports. Manipulated photos. Bought testimonies. William shook his head in disbelief. She was going to take my son from me one way or another. Derek also revealed something else. Brenda didn't act alone in the assaults against Jordan. What do you mean? There was a maid. Someone who helped hide the injuries, cover up the bruises before you got home. William thought immediately. Helena. You know her. Our housekeeper. She's been with us for 2 years. Brenda hired her. The detective made a note. We'll bring her in for questioning. William stood up, hands trembling. Who else? Who else was involved while I worked, thinking my son was safe? That's what we're going to find out, Mr. Carter. But I need you to understand something. What? Your son is a crucial witness. When he's strong enough, we'll need his testimony. He'll have to tell everything in detail. William looked through the window to the corridor, where he could see the door to Jordan's room. He's 9 years old. He's fighting cancer. And now he's going to have to relive all the trauma. I know it's difficult. But without his testimony, Brenda could claim temporary insanity. She could get a reduced sentence or even be transferred to psychiatric treatment. William clenched his fists. She's not getting away. Not after everything she did. Then we need Jordan. That dawn, while Jordan slept under light sedation, William stayed awake beside the bed, holding Tommy, the worn teddy bear. He thought about all the signs he had ignored. Jordan's nightmares. The way he would shrink when Brenda entered the room. The constant excuses for accidents that never made sense. William had failed. As a father, as a protector, as the only person Jordan had in the world. But he wouldn't fail again. At 6 a.m, his phone rang. Unknown number. Mr. Carter? This is Dr. Raymond Foster, from the oncology lab. We need to talk about Jordan's test results. Did something happen? Yes. And you need to come here as soon as possible. The lab was in the hospital basement. Dr. Raymond Foster was waiting for William at the door. Mr. Carter, thank you for coming so quickly. What's happening with my son? The doctor led him to a room with screens showing graphs and test results. We were reviewing Jordan's tests from the last 6 months. The leukemia should have been responding to chemotherapy. The protocol has an 80% success rate. But Jordan was getting worse. William felt a chill run down his spine. The doctor said every body reacts differently. Yes, but we analyzed old blood samples. We found traces of methotrexate in doses far above what was prescribed. What is that? A chemotherapy drug. In excess, it doesn't fight the cancer. It destroys the immune system. Someone was sabotaging the treatment for at least 4 months. William had to lean on the table. Brenda. She had access to the room. She stayed alone with Jordan when you worked. She wasn't just trying to kill him yesterday. She was killing him slowly all along. The good news is we can now adjust the treatment. Without external interference, Jordan has real chances of recovery. William ran back to the room. Jordan was awake, flipping through a coloring book. Dad? You're crying. William sat on the edge of the bed. Jordan, remember the extra injections Brenda gave you? The boy nodded. She said they were vitamins. They weren't. She was giving you something that made you sicker. Jordan was silent. So it wasn't my fault? She said I wasn't getting better because I was weak. William pulled his son into a hug. You're the strongest person I know. None of this was your fault. 3 days later, Detective Coleman called. Helena confessed. She admitted she helped Brenda hide the abuse and administered the extra doses of methotrexate. Brenda promised her $200,000 and threatened to have her deported if she didn't cooperate. And Derek Price. Still in custody. Conspiracy to murder a minor. He'll get at least 20 years. And Brenda. Hearing in 2 weeks. The prosecutor is asking for life imprisonment. Attempted murder, conspiracy, child abuse, tampering with medical treatment. That's 7 serious charges. The trial took place on a cold November day. William was in the front row. Jordan had recorded a video testimony. The entire room fell silent as the 9-year-old boy, bald from chemotherapy, looked at the camera. She hit me when my dad wasn't there. Said I was a burden. Gave me injections that made me sick. I would vomit, get dizzy. She said it was normal. Jordan paused, wiping his eyes. I almost died because of her. But my dad saved me. He arrived just in time. When the video ended, several people in the courtroom were crying. The jury deliberated for only 3 hours. We find the defendant, Brenda Morgan Carter, guilty on all charges. Brenda collapsed. She screamed as the guards dragged her away. William. I loved you. Everything I did was for us. William didn't turn around. The sentence came 1 month later. 35 years. No parole for 20. Derek got 22 years. Helena received 5 years with deportation. On the night of the sentencing, Jordan was waiting for William awake in the living room. Is it over, Dad? It's over, son. She will never hurt you again. Jordan rested his head on his father's shoulder. Dad. Yes. Thank you for choosing me. William felt his heart tighten. I'm the one who should thank you, son. You saved me as much as I saved you. 6 months after the sentencing, Jordan rang the hospital bell. The tradition existed for patients who beat cancer. Ringing the bronze bell meant the treatment was over, that the battle was won. William was beside him, holding Tommy, the worn teddy bear that had accompanied Jordan since the orphanage. You can ring it, champ. Jordan looked at the bell, then at his father, then at the doctors and nurses gathered in the corridor. He rang it 3 times. The sound echoed through the entire floor. Applause erupted. Nurses cried. Dr. Foster hugged William. He did it. Your son is a warrior. Jordan ran into his father's arms, laughing and crying at the same time. I won, Dad. I won. You won everything, son. The disease, the fear, everything. That night, they had dinner at home. Just the 2 of them. Pizza, which Jordan couldn't eat during treatment, and chocolate ice cream. Dad. Yes. Can I ask you something? Anything. Jordan played with the edge of his plate. Are you going to get married again? William paused. Why? Because I don't want another mom. I just want you. William got up and sat beside his son. Jordan, look at me. I made a huge mistake bringing Brenda into our lives. I trusted the wrong person and you paid the price. That will never happen again. Promise. Promise. From now on, it's just the 2 of us. And that's more than enough. Jordan smiled. More than enough. 1 year later, William founded the Jordan Carter Foundation, an organization dedicated to protecting adopted children from abuse and neglect. Jordan, now 10 years old, hair growing back in dark curls, became the face of the foundation. He visited orphanages, talked to children, told his story. I know what it's like to be afraid to speak. He would say. But you're not alone. There's always someone who will believe you. On a spring Sunday, father and son visited the Bright Horizons orphanage, the same place where they had met 5 years before. Jordan walked to the corner of the recreation room. A small girl was sitting alone, hugging a rag doll. He crouched beside her. Hi. What's your name? The girl looked at him with huge, suspicious eyes. Lily. Is that your friend? He pointed to the doll. Lily nodded. Her name is Rosa. Jordan smiled. Rosa seems like a good friend. She's my only one. Jordan looked at William, who was watching from the door. Father and son exchanged a look that said everything. Some stories don't end. They transform into others. That night, in the car driving home, Jordan said, "Dad, Lily needs a family." William smiled. "I know. We could be her family." William looked at his son through the rearview mirror. "Are you sure? It would be a big change." Jordan nodded. "Someone chose to give me a chance. Now it's my turn to do the same." William felt his eyes sting. "When did you get so wise?" "I learned from you." 6 months later, Lily Rose Carter officially became part of the family. And on the wall of the new house, next to the photo of Jordan ringing the hospital bell, there was a new photo, 3 people smiling. A father, a son, a daughter. And below, a small plaque with the words William said every day. "Family isn't blood. It's who chooses to stay." If this story touched your heart, subscribe to the channel and leave in the comments, what does family mean to you? Turn on notifications so you don't miss any story. Because here we believe that true love isn't born. It's built. Choice by choice. Day after day.